Hello guys, this video is for people that want to see the practical pitch masterclass. How do you pitch, how do you present, how do you demo products so people want to buy from you, products and services. And we're gonna go from tips like from amateur to advanced, and I'm gonna show you the way how I pitch the live deck. I'm gonna show you the live deck, the main points here, and how the demo pitching differentiates from the presentation pitching. Let's go. This is the Web3 sales gym and we're kicking it off. The first thing that is important to understand that longer the pitch, the less persuaded they are. This is unlogical, but this is the way it works. The more words you emit, the more words you say, the less persuaded, the less trust they have in you, because what confident people do, what powerful people do, they speak very clearly and they don't say a lot, but when they say something, it is important. So when you start rumbling and you tell them everything about your product doing, and you tell them a lot of information that don't even need to listen to, then this automatically decreases the level of trust in you as a professional that is able to solve their problem. And if you are unable to solve their problem, they probably go somewhere else to start looking for people that can help them solve it. So how do you understand that you are done in your demo? What are the main mistakes? First, you don't cover what's important to them. We discussed this in the previous video where it was like the theory video. I will link it down somewhere here in the top. Watch this. When you have 1,000 products, and you're telling them about 1,000 products when they're only interested in 3, so inability to uncover the pain, inability to uncover what they're interested in, and covering these 1,000 products with a ton of information that they don't need to. They are basically vomiting it to them. Do you expect them to buy them from you? Then second, you want to persuade them. If you want to persuade somebody, guaranteed that they're gonna feel this and they're gonna be less persuaded. If you don't care about this, if you don't care about persuading, if you don't care about the prospect, the less you care about them, the more they are interested in you. This is the same goes as in dating. If you want to persuade certain woman, girl, the guy or the man, it doesn't matter. If you want to persuade them, if you start really pitching yourself to them, they probably gonna lose interest in you. The same goes with the client. Third one, you understand that you're done if your pitch to CEO and then pitch to everybody else is the same one. Pitch to CEO, pitch to VP, pitch to products, pitch to C-suite, pitch to regular users, to people should be different, because every persona have different needs. And if you don't speak to those needs in your demo or your presentation, then you are done. You're irrelevant. And if you're irrelevant, they do not want to do business with you. Then the fourth thing, that when you're done, the presentation is too long. By too long, you would understand what is too long later down the video, where I'm going to show you the presentation and all the best tips. And fifth, there is too much explanation. Again, going down to the first point, you don't want to tell them, you don't want to tell a lot, you do not want to show a lot of words, you do not want them to give impression that you are telling them a lot about everything, about every single product. You want to be specific, you want to be concise, you want to be precise. Let's go. What we have next is if you are live demoing the product. So these are the differentiators. What is important? If you have a live demo, the three things that will help you to save your situation. First, in the bridge section, and if you don't know what is the bridge section, please watch the previous video because we were covering it there. In the bridge section, you need to mention why are you here? Basically, the quantifiable pain that you uncovered in your discovery section. And if you don't know how to uncover the quantifiable pain, again, the videos are there. You check them out. The next steps for this call was to have the demo. Basically, you're telling the last call we found this pain, we found that it cost you this and this, and these are the consequences. So that's why we agreed to have this demo with you and with stakeholders, with whoever they're, like with the decision makers, whatever new people, whether it be new people or the same people that you're demoing it to. Then you need to ask decision makers or the person that is your counterparty on the call, what are the 2-3 things that they want to see, and listen, like shut up and listen what they want to see. Even if it doesn't make sense for you, make sure that you include them further down in the presentation, because this shows that you're paying attention to them and they're actually going to be waiting until you mention those 2 or 3 things. This sets a very clear agenda for the call, and this helps you to move the prospect forward. And then the second one is when you go into the demo, you need to cover those points that I mentioned before. you make the demo interesting for people. You want to use as much visual language as possible. So like get their imagination into the play, engage them, try to create a wow effect, because your demo, it shouldn't be very, very boring where you're basically showing each feature. It should be interesting. It should be live. People should feel you. You need to read, if you want to improve in this, read more how Steve Jobs was presenting. Like think about those Apple presentations. They were wow. They were amazing. How was he doing this? Well, you can learn more about this on the internet. And then the third thing, personalize the demo for them. You can tell, so the more you personalize the product, if you're showing it to them, you can tell them that, John, this is the tab where your team will spend the most time for this. Or Katie, you asked about this thing, you asked about this specific feature, this is how you do this. Make this feel more personal for them, so they feel the product. So make them in the state that as they already bought the product from you, because you have this power. You can show them, they can start imagining that they themselves or their team are using this product, so make it easier for them, okay guys? Then, how do you pitch the deck? And this is actually the things that I have been doing. I was pitching the presentation. I wasn't pitching the product. So the few most important things from pitching the deck. One slide, one main idea, one sentence. Whatever you are doing with your decks right now, try this model right now. Get one slide, understand what is the main idea of this slide. Why is this in the deck? Concise it into one sentence and try going from your deck basically one sentence per slide. If the idea is too big to be conveyed in one sentence, okay, you can use 2 or 3 sentences, that's fine. But this is like in extreme situations, like try to make it one sentence. What this exercise will do, you actually help to cut all the fluff and actually focus on the most important things. So it's gonna be like a punch. Every sentence, every word you say is gonna be like a punch to a prospect that makes them feel and see that you are solving the problem. And the more powerful you are in where you're saying this, the more they trust you. Second, when you're presenting the deck, give your prospect the room to ask questions and engage, because the more engaged they are in the process, the more invested they are emotionally and timely into the thing, into exploring this thing with you, the higher probability that they're gonna buy from you and they're gonna close in the end. Because if it's only you, like the seller, the company that is doing the whole investment and they don't really care, that chances that you're gonna lose them is very, very high. You need to make them invested in the process, emotionally put their stake into it, and this is how you do this. You make it engaging. You ask them questions. You leave the room for them to ask questions. You do this in the way that you're getting them into the process. It's not that you are giving them information. It's in the way that you are basically having a conversation about the problem they're having and the product that you have. You are an expert in your world and you're showing this, how this problem can align with them, and they're interested to learn more. This is the ideal situation, and this is where your demo needs to go if you're presenting a deck. And then the third thing, what is the thing that they genuinely care about? Talk about it in the first place. So listen, again, going back to if you have 1,000 products and they are only interested in 3, talk to them about 3 products, because it doesn't matter what you do, what you sell. It doesn't matter what you want to cover on the call. The only thing that matters is the problem that they have and if they want to solve it. And if they want to solve it, you better tell them every piece of information to help them to see that you are the best guy, that you are the best person in the world to do this with you. You need to show them that you're credible, that you already solve these kind of problems and you're ready to do this. And the way you do this, when you talk about things that are relevant to them, not the things that are relevant to you, because they don't care about you. And if this is very clear. Next thing, I'm actually going to show you the very old deck that we used at Morales, and the way that how do you pack it? How do you unpack all this information? How do you do this in practice? Because I want you to be able to get this information and put it into working 15 minutes after you watch this video. So you go to your deck and you start changing it right now. So the first thing is Morales, then you see the product suite. Basically here you focus on product 1, 2, or 3, whatever they mentioned in the discovery, what they want to solve, you give them more information about that product. Very, very simple. You don't cover all of this. And then the question is like, what is the main idea of this? What is the main idea of this slide? The main idea of this slide is to show what kind of products we have and why we have them like this, like why we specifically went into product 1 and then product 2 and product 3. What was our logic behind building this kind of products? What kind of problem they solve? Why do we need 3 products? Like why it's not enough to have 1 product? You cover this in 1 sentence. Then the second thing, what this slide tells you. You see cross-chain, cross-platform. You see a bunch of chains here and you see a bunch of platforms here. What is the main idea of this slide? The main idea is to say that we are multi-chain and to say that we are very adaptable. We can integrate into any tech stack. So you just say this. You don't need to over-explain it. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Just say this and move on. And if the people, and leave some room for at the end of every sentence that you say, leave some room, like a small pause, maybe like 2-3 seconds. So if your prospect, if they have questions, they can jump into it. Because if you're just going slide by slide, they don't really have the opportunity. They forget about their questions. They feel that you are not listening to them. So why they need to work with you? They don't like you. Okay. Next thing, what we have here. What is this slide for? We have here traditional infrastructure, RPC node, blah, 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 and then there is moreless infrastructure. So the main idea is like transition from old, unscalable infrastructure that you're building to a new model where you're basically having one piece of a code and you're getting all of your data. So the main idea here is that you can have the same result as you used to do older, like very hard, with invested time, resources. You can do the same right now, much easier, and have even better results than you had previously. This is the main idea of the slide. You don't need to overcomplicate this. Like you need to frame this. If the prospect mentioned they have a node problem, then you frame this in the concept that yes, here is an API, here is why other people switch to it. Give them more information, but if they didn't mention this, just get 1 sentence and move forward with leaving 2-3 seconds interval for them to ask questions if they have them. What's the idea of this slide? You are shipping fast and you are saving money. So what you can say, basically that's it. So companies that go forward with moreless, they save this amount of money and they save this amount of time to market. Very simple. If they have any questions, they would jump in. If you want to make a point out to this, if they mention to you that they're specifically interested in, they're specifically interested in time saved to the market, you focus on this, on the first half of the equation, 87%. If they mention that money are more important for you, you focus on money side and you just briefly mention that, yeah, and there's also time to market and blah, 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 blah. So you actually play around the prospect. You get this thing and you make it tailored for everybody. So this is it's actually very, very fun to do on the call because every prospect is different. They have different needs. They are interested in different things. And how do you make the same presentation completely different for each of the prospect? This is like the very, very, very fun part. Then the next thing is, what is this slide here for? So you have some different graphs and here and there. The main point is to show that time to market with us is way shorter or like way faster than the time to market with somebody else. That, for example, if I have idea project and you, my viewer, you have an idea for a project, but I build it in 3 months and you build it in 6 months, then who has higher probability for success? Probably me. This is the main idea of this slide. You can cover this, you cannot cover this, you can frame it in the context of what client is more interested in. Sometimes you skip it, and it's okay. It's one more lesson. It's okay to skip slides if you don't feel like telling these slides. It's okay if you have, like, for example, 15 slides in your deck, your prospect mentioned 3 specific points, and you only go 1 slide, and like the first slide, then you go like 7 slide, and then you go like 15 slide. It's okay to jump from slides until you're focusing on what's important to them and you're making sure that they're moving forward with you. The next thing here is you're presenting something, you're presenting what you can do, you're presenting some business cases, you're presenting something that's, and you're framing it in the context of what your people do. So here it's the project that we had with MetaMask. It's a big name, it's a pretty good use case, and it's very compelling for everybody else. So they think, oh, if they're working with MetaMask, because this automatically checks for the people the question of scalability, how scalable are APIs if they're used by the biggest wallet, then They are scalable, this reliability, and this is kind of like putting the trust mark on you. If somebody big already put this trust mark on you, everybody else, they're more eager to trust in you if they trust this big entity, because they think that they already made the bigger checks. And this is typically how it is. If you want to work with bigger prospects, with bigger companies, they typically have longer buying process, they have more vetting process, they have better procurement process, and all of this stuff. So if you have gone through that, then you're probably good. Yes. And then, as the last thing, you cover the pricing. So you cover the pricing, in our cases, the plan specification, the completation, pricing details, and the price itself. You just cover this, and the most important thing, you tell the price, shut up. And you need to be okay with the silence, because the person that speaks first after this, they lose. Very simple. If I would unpack why is that, if you speak first after telling the pricing, it automatically puts you in a weaker position. It's kind of like you say something very offensive, and they're like, oh no, I didn't mean this. So it's work like this. Like, even if it doesn't matter what you say, but they will perceive in this way. So you need to put them in this position when you are standing on the high ground and they need to reply to that. This is the pricing thing. So the next thing, it was a bit longer video than I expected, but the home training part is first, adapt what you learned today for your deck or for your demo. The most important things, it needs to be engaging, it needs to be short, and it needs to be precise. Speak to what they're interested in. The idea for the deck, one slide, one idea, one most important idea. Then practice with the clock. Make your demo as short as possible, but without compromising on the information or on the value that you want to deliver to the prospect. Still mention all the key points, but try to make it as short as possible, like same idea with the one sentence. If you can do this one punch, if you understand yourself the main idea of the slide, even if you're on the presentation, you can expand on this main idea. You can do more. You can remember more. You can basically be like a good boxer that trains. Practice the demo every day. This is what I was doing. Like, with one of my coworkers, we booked 30 minutes every day, and we were practicing the pitching for the introduction, for everything, for different decks, for different products, for different scenarios, with different prospects, with different customers. If you're pitching, if you're trying, if you're basically preparing yourself, then it's easier for you to pull anything off with the clients. And then third thing is always uncover buyer needs first and speak in your demo to them. Like, I'm rehearsing this again, but this is the biggest mistake that majority of people are doing. They do not understand what their buyers want, so they pitch to everything, they vomit information to them, buyers are unsatisfied, they leave them, and they never do business with you, because you didn't do a very good job in the discovery. You didn't discover what is their pain, why are they connecting with you, and whether it makes sense for you to connect. You didn't, and then you decided to show them demo anyway, because if it's better if they learn more what we do if they don't, and then blah blah blah. And this is like the spiral. You're losing energy, you're losing time, they're losing time, and everybody is a huge disappointment. So how do you fix this? You pitch only to people that are qualified, you understand what they want to learn, and you deliver them on this information. You show them and you serve them what they need. Don't make the job harder for you, don't make the life harder for you. Do this and improve your sales game in Web3 sales and overall in sales, because these tips are there, adaptable to everything. Guys, it was a great pleasure to unpack this for you. If you're still here, please drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, get you more friends in the channel, and check out my other videos. There is a ton of different playlists of the way how you sell, how do you prospect, how do you do everything in Web3. It was a great pleasure to unpack this for you. See you and bye bye.